Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Errahmanirrahim. Maliki yevmiddin. İyyâke na'budu ve iyyâke nestaîn. Ehdinas sıratal mustakim. Sıratallezîne en'amte aleyhim. Gayril mağdubi aleyhim veleddâlin. Subhane rabbike rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Vesselamun alel murselin. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ala bi zikrillahi tatma'innul kulub. Bismillah. La ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah. La ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe Allah, la ilahe illallah, la illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ha illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, la ilahe illallah, Muhammed Resulullah. Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah, Allah, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey. Keep it going with your breath. Hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey. Salatun ala kalbi ana korbi rabbi فقال لا شك هو حذير الله الله ربي الله نور قلبي فقلت ما لي ألا أراه فقال هو فيك ظاهر الله ربي الله نور قلبي فقلت هذا الأمر عجيب فكيف يخفى والنور باهر الله الله الله ربي الله الله نور قلبي فقال وهم هو حجاب وولي كل إنما قاهرنا الله الله الله ربي الله الله نور قلبي لكن من كان اجتباع غاب عين ومي بسرائرنا الله الله الله ربي الله الله نور قلبي وسرى روحا بغير جسم والشهادة الرب بصائرنا الله الله الله ربي الله الله نور قلبي فغيرت نفاتي في شهودي الله لحضراتنا ما لها من ساتير الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله فليس فعل ولا وجود الله لغير ربي عند الكبير الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله فكل من باهي باختيار الله من غير إذن له زواجير الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله الله الله الله الله داوي حاني الله يا ربي افتح لنا بصائر الله ونوير القلب وسرائر الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله الله الله الله الله داوي حاني الله ثم صلاة على نبي الله مجد حب وسر سائر الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله الله الله الله الله داوي حاني الله وعليه واصحاب جمعا الله ما ترى شوقا لله طاهر الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله الله الله الله الله داوي حاني الله الله الله الله الله يا مولانا الله الله الله الله الله داوي حاني الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah. Okay, you can turn the microphones on, and now let's dive in, or dive in some more rather. So it begins, the name of this Qasida is the oneness of action and existence. There's a saying that the multiplicity of actions does not multiply the actor. Allah is one in His names and His attributes. So in the Quran it says, "Fadhkurni afkurukum." If you remember me, Allah says, rather I think it's a hadith Qudsi, maybe Muhsin, you can correct me. If you remember me, I remember you. It is one action. It is in Tawheed. So it begins, the title in itself is an expression of Tawheed. The Shaykh says, Sa'altul qalbi an qurbi rabbi, thaqala la shaqahu wa hadir. He says, I asked my heart. Now he is in an intimate moment, an intimate state with the light within him. He is hearing, adhering, disappearing within that nur which is resident within his heart and resident within your own heart. So this is an intimate conversation he's sharing with us, so that we would reflect on this intimacy, this type of intimacy that we have, asking our own questions about the nature of our existence and the nature of God. So he says, I asked my heart about the nearness of my Lord. And so it said, when the heart spoke, there is no doubt that he is present, mawjood, he is present. Again, all these things, whether it is in your practice of salat or whatever, it is designed to bring you into the eternal moment, to bring you into the presence, into the Hadrat al-Rabbani, into the presence of your Lord. That's why he uses, I asked my heart about the nearness of my Lord, that which brings me up, that which nourishes me, that's what teaches me, that's what communicates with me. And it said, there is no doubt that he, who, the essence of Allah, the presence of Allah is mawjood, is present. So I said, what is wrong with me that I do not see him? How many times you've heard this question? I've heard it so many times. People say, I don't see God. I don't see God. I don't see him. And it said, the heart speaks back. He says, he is manifest in you. He is that light, that nur is, you are predicated, born from, emerged from that reality which is before time and space, before you even came into this world. All the arwah, remember, that were gathered in one place, and Allah said to them, before the souls came into creation, and Allah said to them, Alasti bi rabbikum, and they all said, yes, naam. So there was we're all stamped with that knowledge, light, and presence that Allah is with us, and that we recognized being asked that presence is our truth. And I said, this is astonishing because it's bewildering. How can Allah be manifest in you? I am a person. I am a relative self. I'm not Allah. I don't have all power and all wealth and all control, all manifestation. So it's a bewildering paradox we all face. If Allah is eternal and forever and I'm not, what is this? So he says, this is astonishing. He's bewildered. How can he, Allah, be hidden if light is brilliant? And here it comes in a very simple way. He says, it said, illusion is the veil and it overpowers all men. It's the line that says, yes, I'll come back to it later. It said, illusion is the veil and it overpowers. So it is to do with our wahm, our concept, our idea of self, our sense of separation, that we don't see as we talked about last week, the existence traces. We don't see the manifestation of Allah's names and attributes upholding and manifesting this creation. We don't see it in the trees and in the stars and in the skies. Why? Because we're looking with the eyes of our expectation, of our conditioning, of our relative conditioned mind. And that is the hijab. That is our idea of being a separate self, of a conditioned self, is the illusion, is the veil, it is the hijab, and it overtakes everyone. It overtakes all of us. Then he says, لكن من كذا اتباعي غاب عيني وهو بسرائر وسرى روحان بغير جسمي وشهد الرب بالبصائر. And I'll go on a little further to the English. Whoever, and this is a continuation of this conversation. However, the one who is chosen, here's an interesting word, we'll come back to it. However, the one who is chosen withdraws from this illusion through his secrets. However, the one who is chosen, what does it mean to be chosen? When Allah is seeking you, Allah manifested this creation to be known, to be loved and to be known. The seeker is really the sought. And when the seeker wakes up that he or she is the sought, he or she is automatically chosen for these secrets to be unveiled to them. It is a coming together of this two streams of consciousness. One is, as we talked about it in another talk, a relative stream of consciousness, which is identification with a separate self, you, and the other is God consciousness. It is higher consciousness that in which your consciousness, your relative consciousness is borrowed from. It is an echo of, it is a shadow echo of that one consciousness. So however, the one who is chosen, who meets at that point in that person's being, enters into that mihrab, that center within you. You withdraw from the illusion through the secrets. What is the secret? It's not like some secret, Secret means your inner reality. That which is within you that is beyond time and space. That which is in you that is your true self. This ephemeral self, the conditioned self, the conditioned consciousness is a development of this very tiny bit of time and space. We develop it within the womb, as Shaykh Fadlallah so beautifully says, within the womb of time and space. We get this idea of separation, of separate consciousness. But behind it, within it, before it, after it, over it, under it, is the true consciousness, the true higher consciousness, the light of the Ruh, the light of your soul. And that is your true secret. And when you withdraw from everything else and enter into that, then you begin to know who you are without speech. And he goes on. Now here he starts to give it away. He says, and he or she, he becomes a spirit. You identify now with your Ruh without body, and directly sees the Lord. Note he's using the word Lord with inner sight. And he becomes a spirit without body. When you identify with timelessness, when you enter into the taste of beyond time and beyond space, when you start to realize through your mind first, through your yearning, through your seeing Allah's Asma Husna, the names manifest all around you, that you are more than just your body. You are what you are predicated upon, what you are living by is beyond the body. It's beyond this. This body is from the earth. It's from the stardust. It comes into being and it will come out of being. But that which is already there, your spirit, your Ruh, is forever there within you. This is just a coating, a necessary coating. And you directly see the Lord, the Rabb, with inner sight. Now you have different eyes. Now you're seeing with your heart. You're not just seeing with your eyes. Although it's important to see, when you see something, see Allah's hand in it, see Allah's names in it. That's why the eye is important. Allah did not create the senses, both inner and outer, out of sport, out of no reason. They are the ladder, the stepping stones. It's like when the Prophet Abraham was on his inner journey in coming to Tawheed. There's a story about him. I'm sure you all know it. He looked to the stars to find Allah, but the stars set. He looked to the sun and to the moon, and he noticed that everything sets. Everything is ephemeral. Everything is fani, is annihilating, is going away. And that's when he came to a realization of Tawheed, of oneness. So it's an example that Allah's creation and the experience of this creation is purposeful, is designed. So all things matter. Your eyes matter, your taste, your hearing. These are all doorways, stepping stones, so that you can transcend them. They are your ladder to transcendence. So here he says, and directly sees the Lord, the Rabb, the one who brings you up. Because you cannot see Allah in his essence. Because then there's no seer. There's no such thing. The eye, the individuality doesn't, in the Allah's essence, there is only who, bus, nothing else. So this is the Lord. You see the Lord, the one who, this is as closest to that unspeakable that you can see. And that is within inner sight, because you've awakened up. You've awoken. Now you see that everything has a message. You see that everything is Allah's words manifest. That's why the Quran is called surah. The words are, and in them the sentences are ayat, signs, pictures, communication, read, ikra. All these things are to wake you up so you begin to read the book, read the whole creation. Then he says, so the goal of openness in direct seeing is a presence that has no veil. openness, when the road of your heart is cleared away, when all the concepts, emotions, ideas, everything is let go of, then the vision of the heart, but in the heart itself begins to see, and a sense of presence without the veil of all of that illusion, you begin to taste that. And this is what we want. We want to have that presence so that we can taste that inner reality that is within us. Every one of us has this potential access. You just have to wake up. Among the great, there is neither action. Now, this is fabulous. Among the great, what does he mean by great? The great are the realized beings. People, the prophets, the messengers, the urafa, people who have this knowledge, who have awakened. He says, there is neither action nor existence from other than my Lord. So they see everything as a result of Allah's his lordship, his bringing up, his direct connection to it. That when the Prophet Musa was at the throne of Pharaoh, he was to throw his staff, and he was a bit hesitant. And then the order came to him and he threw it. And, they say that his face became a little bit pale from the moment. It's because what was revealed to him was it wasn't him throwing, it was Allah throwing. That it had nothing to do with him, that when that order came, he became a perfect conduit of that order from Allah. In the Quran, the soul is called Ar-Ruh bil-Amri Rabbi. When they ask you about the soul, say this, Ar-Ruh bil-Amri Rabbi. Your soul is from the order of Allah. The order of Allah means that your existence is within His hands. By His Amr, by His decree. Everything is by Allah's decree. So when you begin to awaken to this, you don't see anything other than Allah's decree. This is the station with people of the path seekers want to have. Because then after that, then there's total connectedness. Then you see there isn't accidents. There isn't, there isn't injustice on the highest level. There is no injustice. Of course, in the human level, there's much injustice. But on the most high level of the underpinning of this creation, there's no injustice. It's Allah's Amr, Allah's decree. And then he says, whoever divulges the secret by choice, without permission, has restrictions placed on him. Here is a warning. Because this experience, you cannot claim it. You cannot say, I'm now acting only out of God. I am, Take, Shaykh Fadlallah used to say, if somebody said that to you, get a frying pan and hit them over the head and see how fast they act in a different way than, so to speak, a godly manner. This is what this experience and what this reality is that if you even begin to claim it, you don't have it. It's a lie. Because one who has this wouldn't speak about it. It is the highest humility when you know that Allah's in charge and you are not. It's the highest of being a humility when you know that Allah is the management of your affairs, and you're not. You're a faqir. You're poor of choice, poor of action, poor of power. And if he says he puts it in without idhn, meaning sometimes in appropriate moments or situations, that amr would come and maybe something would be said. But without that idhn, that permission from Allah's wahi on that person's tongue and heart, if they divulge this, the restrictions of his self and the illusion is placed on him. And this person becomes constricted and in delusional. And then he says, "O Lord," again, referring back to Lord, "open our inner sight for us." Now here he lays it out. He says, it is nothing you can do to make this happen because Allah is in charge. You can do dhikr, you can read these diwans, you can keep the best of company. All of these things are required of us, are to be sincere and act upon our deen and be generous with other people and help others and do good and all these things that are important from us. But in the end, it is Allah, the Lord, the one who brings us up, the one who our lives is within his hands. It is he who opens it up for us and illuminates our hearts and our secrets. And then bless the Prophet as long as there is a lover, serious in their love and a wayfarer journeying. The Prophet is there for every human being. He was created to be a model, a representative, a khalifa, the greatest of mirrors for this love and this path that we're talking about. If it wasn't for the Prophet, there would be none of this. And if it wasn't for all the intention of this creation and humanity, there would be no Prophet either. Because Allah did not create, as he says in the Quran, this world out of sport, out of just haphazardness. It's created for purpose, and that these two go together, the prophetic being and those who mirror and reflect and find their way to the nur of Allah, to the essence and reality of their heart through the prophetic light. And in the end, he includes in this, he bundles this together. It's a very important last line in the Qasida. He says, "Then Allah bless the Prophet as long as there is a lover serious in his love and a wayfarer journeying, and his family and companions all together, as long as there is one who flies to Allah with longing." This light of the prophetic light had a reverberation from specifically to his Ahl Bayt, to his family. There was something in there is something in their station and in their connectivity and closeness to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some of the companions who were like that, who reflected also in the same way we were talking about, mirroring and dissolving their selves into the prophetic light. And as long as there is one who flies to Allah, it's so beautifully put that it shows so much mercy that we shouldn't despair. We have he's saying to us in a way, this is a generous path. This is a generous existence that not only has this reality, Allah has made a way for us to have a prophetic exemplar, an archetype of human perfection, but a ripple effect through a certain amount of time to so many others of his family and his rightfully guided companions and those who we know through time, from his time on to our time, that reflect that light. We should not despair and realize that there's so much available and access to this light. We just have to want it. We have to awaken to it, desire it, and become obsessed with it. In reality, we're all obsessed with this anyway. We're all obsessed, like Sheikh Fadlallah says recently so many times, we're all obsessed with life, just life itself. Everyone wants to live. Everyone wants to have whatever that they want, but why do they want it? Because they, in fact, every element of life you can think of that you want, whether it's security or power or whatever it is, eventually that becomes that door, that ladder, that stone step towards realizing that that's not enough. And no matter how much you have, you'll never have enough. No matter, your youth will leave and you'll be left with that fading away, and you'll ask, well, what else is there? Everything leads back to this path. Everything leads back to human awakening. The entire creation is stamped with it. Ilasti bi rabbikum. There's nothing outside of this paradigm. If you think there's something outside of this paradigm, it's an illusion. There's nothing. All of this whole universe is stamped with one command. And that is that Allah says, I was a treasure hidden, wanting, loving to be known. So I manifested this creation to be known. And what we read today is a key and a love note to those who are, and a mapping for those who want to have this and who wake up to this and desire the access to this. All right, let's end with the Fatiha. Bismillah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamun ala al-mursalin. Alhamdulillah.